Good afternoon. Welcome to the Pundits on Fleet TV. We are going to be looking at topical issues and also reports that we have identified on the newspapers. I have with me two gentlemen. I don't know whether they are obedient, articulated, ratified, or tribulated. Let's get to know them. I have my right honorable.
I am Comrade Ido Israel. I'm not an honorable.
I also have
Mr. Biano Samonti, Olukubiano Samonti.
Okay, the stage is set as we experience scale of defections from various political parties. Now, Labour Party has a candidate. 20 is threatening to leave the APC. 13 senators already have made their stance. We have three. Is it two PDP?
One NNPP.
Let's look at the politics this afternoon, and as also we're looking at the ASU strike. Federal government saying that they will still come back. We are looking at INEC extending 2 months for the persons that are eligible to go and get their PVCs. And we're looking at the Chief of Army Staff has asked a secret memo sent to some of the military officers that they should lay off disgruntled police, military officers. Let's start with the Honorable Israel. Let's take a look at this disgruntled. What do you think? What is your take?
Okay, the disgruntled officers. I think at this point in political situation, it is very, very unfortunate that we'll be having such an information from, like you said, it's an internal memo sent by the Chief of Defense Staff to lay off disgruntled military officers. So to use the word disgruntled, I think our military setup, the way we used to see them, even when we were kids, we rarely see army, we only see police. We were told that military officers are always residing in the bush. They are expected to protect the territorial integrity of the nation. They are rarely seen in the public and whatever brings them. So we hold them in high esteem, you understand? And they have so much, they command so much respect, you understand? Until of recent, when these Boko Haram insurgents, these terrorists started battering them all up and down, discrediting them. You see gory pictures of our soldiers being murdered, being, you understand, their psychological being weakened. You see soldiers even lamenting on social media, you understand, complaining about the lack of care, lack of adequate welfare that is adequate for them to be able to carry out, you understand, their activities properly. And come to think of it, fast forward to it, this is now a time where insurgency, banditry, kidnapping is now the order of the day. And these people that we claim to owe in ISM, these people that we claim, these our Jack Bowers that we believe, because there is a time we have this notion. They used to tell us that Nigerian military is the best military in the whole of Africa, but we've been unable to even tackle our own local problems. And at a time when insurgency is on the rise daily, when kidnapping is on the rise daily, when you expect these people to be up and doing, when you expect these people to display what they are capable of doing, that is now the time you are hearing of disgruntled. And what makes you say someone is disgruntled? That means if the condition of work is not conducive, that means if proper welfare is not given, that means if what is expected is not, you understand, happening. And you said they are disgruntled. What we used to hear before is that when you have disgruntled military officers, they court-martial them, you understand? They have a kind of military court where they court-martial them, where they reprimand them, where they punish them, and these are never disclosed to the public glare, you understand? They have a high level of professionalism, but now it has gotten to an extent where you have a memo telling them to lay off disgruntled ones amongst them. Now if you lay them off, what happens to them? What impact will they be to the society? Because wherever you lay off, you are not incarcerating them, you lay them off and you send them into the society.
Let me hear from
how do you do that,
Mr. Martin? What will lead to soldiers or the military being disgruntled? Some of the officers.
Thank you for having me. I think rather than, it's quite unfortunate the statement we are seeing from the Chief of Army Staff.
Defense staff.
Sorry, Chief of Defense Staff. Because for me, rather than calling for dismissal or laying off of people who are disgruntled, I think the government or the military high command needed to look inward to actually unravel why are they disgruntled, why are they dissatisfied, why are they annoyed, why are they not happy with the system. Because for me, I think it boils down to a situation where perhaps their welfare is not well taken care of. Because don't forget that before now we have heard instances of the Nigerian military facing
there's a picture we saw them
issues
drinking Gary in the
yes, of course, they operate in so many dehumanizing conditions. There are reports of some of them being depressed. So if your welfare is not well taken care of and you are working under a very harsh condition,
remember the soldier that
I
collapsed?
think it behoves of the government to address the issue of their welfare rather than calling on laying them off. Thank you, you all remember now. The other day they were having a Democracy Day.
Yeah.
3 military personnel collapsed right there while they were on the parade ground. So it tells you that their welfare is not well taken care of. It tells you that the government or the military high command has failed in their responsibility of taking good care of them. So rather than calling for their dismissal, I think the government should look inward and look for who is not doing the right thing. Who does it behove on to take good care of them? That because I don't think fund is an issue. If the government through the National Assembly have approved all the funds they needed for their welfare, and we have a situation where they are facing this depression, they are being disgruntled, it means somebody somewhere is sitting on the fund needed to make them comfortable and deliver on the job. So for me, instead of calling for their dismissal and sack, they should look inward and look for who is actually
let me ask Comrade Israel, with this state of the military, would they be able to meet up with the responsibilities of enabling security?
Psychologically already they are destabilized, because like we all know, their welfare should be paramount, and if they are working in different gory situations that are dehumanizing, you understand, because for you to go and fight a war, for you to face a war and face a battle, you must be psychologically up and doing, you understand, your welfare, you must be in a good state of mind. And if these are not happening, you just mentioned soldiers collapsing, soldiers that are said to be the most agile. I think agility is one of the words accustomed to soldier. So you in fact, we always have this notion that a soldier is equal to like 20 or 30 men. You understand that only one soldier can beat 30 men. But this set of soldiers that are collapsing, that are fainting, you understand, even on parade. Now, instead of looking inward, like Mr. Matthew has rightly said, to identify the root cause of why they are disgruntled, now you are laying them off. Is laying them off, is it the solution? Because if you lay somebody that is disgruntled off, you understand, you send them to streets, and what do you expect them to be? They will now go back to the back and go and join the bandits, go and join the military, go and join the kidnappers, because they already are equipped militarily, you understand, they know how to use weapons, they are already exposed to weaponry, you understand. So I think it's always, like we've always said, our government has always found wrong solutions to different problems, and that's why our problems are always multiplying, because the multiply effect of laying these people off is more dangerous, you understand, than dealing with what made them disgruntled in the first instance, because they will not be disgruntled if they are adequately taken care of, if their welfare is met, and if, like he said fun may not be an issue. I want to disagree with him. We've had instances where soldiers, military men go on use video on viral that their welfare has been abandoned, and that's
what he's saying. He said that the fund.
He said fund is not supposed to be problem, but that probably some persons are sitting on the fund.
You know what I'm saying is this. I say funding is not an issue because there is no instance in Nigeria where the military high command go approach federal government through National Assembly for funds that they turn the offer down.
Yes.
So it means somebody somewhere is sitting on the fund, so the government or the military command should identify the person and deal with the person rather than punishing people who are being disgruntled. Because if somebody is disgruntled, it's a function of inaction of government. So it's a reaction of the inaction of government. So they should not be punished for being disgruntled. Rather, their welfare should be taken care of.
Okay. Let's look at we had a report that Amotekun has they nabbed some men suspected terrorists that were involved in the Owa attack. My question is, why is it that these local police are more effective than our national military force?
The essence of Amotekun in the first instance is a succor, is an addendum to the inactivity of our terrestrial police, our normal police. Inactivity of, yes, now, because we've seen, according to what Rotimi Akeredolu said, the governor of Ondo State, they are aware that these terrorists, these bandits, these herders are already in all the forests, and they are looking for slight means and opportunities to come into the people, and you understand, create mayhem and run back inside. So the Amotekun, the strengthening of Amotekun and the veracity of Amotekun is based on the fact that we already know that the system is compromised because it is inactive. It is inactive because they don't have what is needed, the necessary logistics. You understand? You go to a police station where you have about 12 policemen with only 2 guns. You understand? You go to a police station where they don't even have, you understand? You have instances where you run to a police station and you complain to them that there is a robbery somewhere, but they will tell you that they don't even have fuel to put in their vehicle to go to such places. So the quick response expected of security operatives in times of crisis, in times of challenges like this, is not there, and that is why Amotekun is strengthened to do it. So if you now hear information that some suspected people, you like the word suspected, they were not caught in the act, and eventually most of these suspected people, suspected cases you hear on the pages of newspaper in Nigeria, eventually we swept under the carpet, because apart from that you hear it today, you may probably not hear anything about that matter again, because another event will override that and it will be swept off, because you now be dealing with a new case at a new venue, at a new calamity, and you forget that one.
Shouldn't we make a case for state police with the situation on ground?
You are absolutely correct. I'm a proponent of state police, because you see, we need for us to be able to address the issue of insecurity in this country, we need to decentralize police. The command and control system that comes from Abuja is not working. It's not helping in this situation.
It's not working. It's not helping.
It's not working, because you have a situation where the IG of police will sit in Abuja, reports to the National Security Advisor, who in turn reports to Mr. President. I don't have issue with that anyway. But what we are saying is, how do you deal with issues in Lagos, in Ondo, in Delta, in Jigawa, in Kano? All crime is local. Now, if you give state police a chance, what it will mean is you get locals who know the terrain, who know all the, not just the terrain, who know all the characters in the vicinity, and by so doing, you will equally draft the traditional rulers into the security arrangement. Because what I have currently is not working. I think even the National Security Advisor alluded to it the other time, where he was trying to explain the challenge of fighting insecurity. He did say that actionable intelligence is a challenge, and to getting the locals to sign on to the project of gathering information is a challenge. But if you allow the locals to handle it themselves, the confidence of giving information to the government will not be eluding government. And this thing happens on, it's not as if you have state police that they will not synergize with the federal police. They will do. There will be synergy between state and federal police. Where the federal police cannot, where the state police cannot step in, the federal police will step in. But to say that we should continue relying on federal police, I think is the bane of our security challenge, why we are not able to resolve it.
Okay, thank you. I will go for a short break. When we come back, we're talking about the Gale of defections in various political parties and how it's going to shape the 2023 presidential elections. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. This is the Pundits on Flip TV. I'm Christian Chikon. I have with me Mr. Matu Pianose and also Comrade Israel. We are looking at the Gale of defections from different political parties. We have the APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party, and other parties. Currently, we have Abga, a senator with Abga. We have a senator with Labour Party, a senator with NNPP, and one other party like that. Let's look at how do you think these defections will shape the conduct of the elections.
Number one, it is expected that there will be defections because it is a fallout of disenchantment from the organized primary that everybody is not in tandem with. Why I said that? Since 2015 that we've had APC as a political party, I think the APC as a party is built under the image, the nomenclature of a Buhari. You understand? You have this not Buhari, this Buharism. Okay. You understand? In building the APC. So there are strange bedfellows of different varieties of ideologies. You understand? That come together for a singular act, and that is ensure that you have President Muhammadu Buhari. And now 7 years down the lane, people are being paid back. You understand? With their servitude, and some persons are not happy, disenchanted with the ways and manners, you understand, they were treated during the primaries. And because you see situations where even the most important part of it now is the impunity that the party leadership used during the convention, the last convention, and the conduct of the presidential primaries, you understand, where you see some persons forcefully step down, you understand, some persons, like look at the convention before the presidential primaries, majority of people interested in party offices were not allowed because virtually all the offices were through consensus, including the chairmanship, and that's where you find the first set of disenchantment. Then you come to the national presidential primaries, where you understand, you see how it pans out, you see how might and power was displayed, you understand, and the eventuality is the fact that some people are not comfortable with the eventual choice of the party. And when a party has gone to the extent of even substituting names of people that did not participate in primaries, I think this is what you expect, because it is impunity on his part. What APC have been doing since 2015, they've proven to be the most disorganized political party in the country, because every of their processes are always riddled with flaws, you understand, sentiment and selfishness. And that's why you can see somebody that did not participate in a democratic process called a primary, you understand, being substituted for somebody that participated. And I'm worried because INEC in the case of Yobe, that is Lawan, and that of Akpabio has been outspoken. But are you telling me those are the only two instances? No, only those are the ones that complain. So many other cases like that did not have the temerity, the guts, you understand, to come out and complain that their names have been substituted. And you see, like I equally said, this is a party that has failed the nation woefully for 7 years, and they are going in for another general election. So there is even a realization from the partakers of the party that we are failed. It is better we cross to another party. So you will see more of it. And Adamu, I think, is not helping matters with his high-handedness, and that's why you see him running to them to beg them to stay. But if they are insistent on staying, and with the level of high-handedness that is not abating, I see more people, more influx from APC, and I know that the other parties will be the direct beneficiaries of this act.
Mr. Matthew, let's look at what happened to PDP, where we had defections, and now it's happening to APC. What do you think may play out 2023?
Okay, I think it's not unexpected, one, and secondly, the APC per se as a party started from a very bad note, because you look at, it's not, if I think both APC and PDP had that same problem, because you found a situation where ordinarily delegates of political parties were supposed to contest to become delegates. We have a situation where in PDP and APC somebody sees somewhere, write name of delegates, submit to the party leadership, and then does it. Those are the ones that conducted the primary. So it means from the onset, some persons have been skinned out, and the reaction is what we are seeing now. If you look at after the primary, there is no doubt some persons are disillusioned or disenchanted, as the case may be. If you look at even in PDP, they have their own fair share of the same scenario. Look at Wike, the governor.
No, Wike is not defecting yet.
I'm coming.
Okay.
It is on record that the governor of Ebonyi State visited him recently. The candidate of Labour Party visited him yesterday to see whether they could woo him. And the reason of the visit is not far-fetched, because when you see a man who is already, his followers are already speaking out that is enchanted, that is disillusioned by the way and manner the PDP candidate picked his running mate. Now, if you look at APC per se, you understand that most of the senators who are defecting lost in the primary, and especially a situation where the primary did not follow due process. They feel that the party circumvent the democratic process in getting to the level where they got those candidates. So under such scenario, they are bound to react, and the reaction is the defection.
Will it affect, and again, you affect APC?
Definitely it will affect APC.
Is it going in favor?
Is favoring PDP more and the other smaller political parties. But what I'm trying to say in essence is the party chairman, Adamu, did not hide it. He have said that no leader of a political party will say he's not concerned when he see his members defecting to another political party. And again, if you look at it, it depends on how APC manages the situation. The meeting the national chairman of APC had with senators of APC extraction is not going to douse it, because the only way you can resolve it is to placate them. Because one, the essence of being in politics is to get position, is to be accommodated.
Okay. Now
they contested and lost according to the party. So the only way you can make them to stay is to compensate them. Though I'm not in a position to advise APC on what to do, but what I'm trying to say is
with what? Compensate with what?
With position.
The primaries have been done.
Okay, what you do not understand is that these political parties, they share position before election. Will be minister, board members, board chairman, parastatals, and even ambassadorial position. They share it before election.
It's determined before the election.
I say they share it before election.
Okay, we have a breaking news. Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice have been arrested and charged for bringing a child to the UK for organ harvesting. It is not certain if those arrested are Nigeria's former Deputy Senate President and his wife, but the description given by the UK police fits into their profile. Confirmed the arrest in a statement. The Metropolitan Police said the pair were charged to court on Thursday following an investigation by the Force Specialist Crime Team. The police added that the investigation was launched after detectives were alerted to potential offences under modern slavery legislation in May 2020. So we'll confirm that. But as it stands, it seems that Ike Ekweremadu, is it the former Senate president?
The former deputy
Senate president.
But like you said, we have not confirmed that it's actually him. And if it's him, it's unfortunate.
Okay.
Because
he made a statement that Peter Obi cannot win.
It's not related now. That he made a statement that Peter Obi
I'm not relating it to
cannot
this.
win. Does not make him got arrested for organ harvesting.
I'm not.
You are always trying to attach anybody that says anything against Obi. I'm trying to remind them.
I'm trying to know if
the more reason, in fact, the more reason why you mentioned his name and why you are telling us about it as a breaking news is because you want to chastise him for making a statement. So you are happy now that
I'm making a
reprimanded.
No, we are not sure he's the one.
So you could have.
I had it in mind to ask you about Ekweremadu. I had it in mind.
You don't have it in mind. You don't. You are just giving us a breaking news.
Okay. Yes. With the Labour Party.
Okay, you mean Ekweremadu? He's the statement that came from the other day.
Yes.
To be quite honest.
Let's be honest now. Can Peter Obi win this election?
To be quite honest with you, if you look at the political terrain, the political landscape in Nigeria, the determinants of who win election, how election is won and lost, the indices and all that, you agree with me that PDP and APC, they are a party to beat in this election. That notwithstanding, their strategists need to work more. Because if you look at what is happening in APC currently, you agree with me that the Muslim ticket is a big issue.
Yeah.
And I think Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the candidate of the APC, knows that is a big issue. Having said that, if you see the rising profile and popularity of Obi, is not unexpected because you see youths, especially in the southern part of the country, rooting for him. But again, I think he needed to do more in the north to get the northern youth signed onto the Obi project. Because you seldom see or hear youths in the north rooting for Obi.
Seldom.
Obi have his own.
I said the word seldom.
Really.
Yeah.
You
agree with the word seldom?
Yes.
If you look at,
we know those that are obedient and those are disobedient.
No, it's not a question of being obedient.
He's implicating you.
No, he cannot implicate me because I'm analyzing the political situation in Nigeria. I'm not here I'm not here to say whether I'm obedient, whether I'm for Atiku or whether I'm for Tinubu. I'm only trying to analyze how does each of them stand in this election. My opinion is immaterial. Who I support is immaterial because I only have one vote. But if you strategize well,
look at the comments. Let's know who Mr. Matthew is supporting.
The
viewers will tell us.
I don't think they even have the insight to know who I'm supporting because it's only God that searches the heart. But what I'm trying to say in essence is, if you look at, I look at it how each of them is positioned to win this election. Obi is a good administrator. He comes from the financial background. We saw how he ruled Anambra State and he left it better than he met it. So to that extent, I think he stands a good chance to manage the Nigerian economy. But again, you cannot use that to determine who will win an election in Nigeria because look at what shapes Nigerian election. You see religion, ethnicity, and majorly two religion, ethnicity, your political party, and all that. So how do an Obi get the northern youths sign on to the project?
Get 25%. No, before you win.
No, you are talking about 25. You have two major conditions. One, you need to win majority vote, and you need to win to 10% of the states. 25%, yes, to 10% of. Sorry, to
25.
No, you need to win majority votes.
Okay.
They need to win 25% or to 10 majority of the states, which is 24 states. So if you look at it from that angle, in the Southeast, there's no argument he's going to win overwhelmingly.
But Ekweremadu is saying that the Southeast will not
vote. It's irrespective of Ekweremadu's position. It's about the people who want to vote, the electorates. I think the major challenge he's going to have is outside the Southeast, even if the youths are rooting for him in other places like in the South and some part of the Southwest, how are you going to be on ground to manage the election? Because you need agents committed who will not be swayed by money to stand for you on the day of election.
Labour Party does
not give shishi. maybe you are speaking for BA. I don't know anyway.
Yeah, because that's the.
But I don't think he can say he will not give anything to his party agents on the election day. I don't think that will work.
Okay.
Because even like PDP, APC is a normal tradition. On the election day, they pay their agents legitimately to stand in for them in that election. But what I'm saying is, beyond South, Southeast, Southwest youths, how do an Obi manage to get inroad into the North? Then let's look at PDP. You see that PDP have its own fair share of problem, because just like we have just said, the Cross River State governor, the River State governor, yes, Wike, is at the verge of dumping PDP. He have not made any categorical statement, but his body language shows that yes, he is disenchanted or disillusioned by way of the PDP presidential candidate, the way he picked his running mate. Because there was a time it was rumored that the lot will fall on him. But having said that, if PDP is able to manage the situation well and Wike stays, I think it's a plus to PDP. And if you look at APC, I think their major challenge now is whether to go for Muslim ticket or Christian Muslim ticket or Muslim Christian. But if you look at it critically, you agree with me that the politicians who are rooting for Muslim tickets are political gladiators in APC. It's not perhaps APC, it's not perhaps the Muslim community. So that is why, even as a person, whether I'm in APC or not, whether I'm in PDP or not, whether I'm in Labour Party or not, I strongly and vehemently oppose Muslim ticket. The reason is not far-fetched. Because if you look at some relevant sections of the Constitution, like Section 15, Subsection 2, it tells you that you must not discriminate when you give a position. And Section 14, Section 3 went further to talk about that you must not discriminate against religion and ethnicity when you share position in Nigeria. And someone like Ebu Adeborua is already preparing to go to court with APC if eventually go ahead with Muslim ticket.
Let me ask honorable. Now people are saying structure. Some people don't have structure will win this election.
Yes.
Will structure win the election?
Yes, now it's structures that wins the election, and like we've rightly said,
there will be no miracle.
Wait, there can't be any miracle. Now you used to have 120,000 polling units. Now you have 170,000 polling units. That means an Obi need 170,000 people. That's a part, and he must look for money to pay them legitimately, to fund them. That is number one. Number two, now you are talking of Gale of Defections. Now, as regards the PDP, I think people should know the truth there. I don't see a wicked living. What was misconcepted was the leadership of the PDP did not even read through that column that states that anybody that picks a ticket for any office and contested in a primary cannot contest or be considered for any other position. That was the sole reason why Wike was dropped, not because Atiku preferred an Okowa. And now that they've gotten through that, I think they've seen that he knows that he was not dropped because Atiku hated him. So the disenchantment, if you say Wike is a colossus in the southeast. Wike has performed, and Wike is somebody that is magnanimous politically now. So if he's being approached, it is normal. But as regard whether he will leave, he will not leave. And for this Gale of Defections, let's not deceive ourselves. It will only favor PDP.
Only. It
will favor PDP because the pockets of it will go to NNPP. You understand? I don't see people crossing from APC to Labour. And like he has rightly said, you understand? Obi structure is on social media. Obi needs to reach out to other parts of the country. One of the
Does
things,
he have time?
He has 8 months. He has time. Yes, now Shebi he has been meeting. Was it not time that he spared to go and meet Wike yesterday? He's supposed to go everywhere. Go to the north. Go into the hinterland. Go and meet people that are political bigwigs. Let them identify with you. Now, see what we are trying to say here. The people that have been talking against Obi were even of his extraction. Father Mbaka is Igbo, Ike Ukeremadu is Igbo, Dave Umai is Igbo, and these are people that you are expecting to be giving him backup, to be giving him support, and these are people that have their own followers, that have their own supporters too. You understand? So Obi should not just live in the phantasmagoria of social media popularity. If election is conducted on social media today, Obi will win. Everybody knows that. And the intent, the psychology of mind of youth, you understand, to change the system is genuine, is good, but the logistics will hamper them. The logistics will hamper them because the structures are not there for Obi to reach out to the nooks and crannies of the country. And like you said, even if all the Igbos, let's agree that all the Igbos now agreed that they will vote for Obi and they voted, it is still not enough to win, because if he did not have votes in the south, if he did not have in the southeast, in the southwest and in the north, he would definitely come second or third. You understand? From what I am seeing is Obi fast rising popularity and dexterity. Yes, he has the charisma, he has the dexterity. As a good administrator, he has the moral penumbra. But you understand, he has the moral penumbra, but politics is won by crookedness, by wickedness, by whims and caprices. You understand? And if he cannot match up with the other two in that, he will become, you understand, I see, let's not deceive ourselves, I see even Ekwankwaso having more, because Ekwankwaso, we have House of Reps, we have House of Assembly, we may even have Senate. You understand? As in the general election, because prior to the campaign from PDP to NNPP, he has made wide consultations, and you see that immediately in the camp, some big wigs who have names Timber and Calibers, they camped alongside him of northern extraction that he needs, which is what is expected of an Obi. Obi just left. Obi traveled to England, came back from England the following day and went to meet Kwankwaso. We were like thinking there may be a merger between Kwankwaso and Obi. But before you say Jack Robinson, Obi has gone to Labour, a relatively mushroom party.
Who is not the third force? NNPP?
There is no third force. Let's stop fooling ourselves.
Except NNPP is able to form alliance
with Labour. There is
time
is not on their side.
Because if you look at the electoral act, it says that
it's impossible.
You cannot register another party within the time frame now.
Yes, now.
So the only thing they can do is
they
to collapse. Jettison one political platform.
And now they will collapse the structure into one.
But again, I find it difficult to believe that a Kwankwaso would agree to be running mate to
he said it is
Obi will agree.
No, in fact, his campaign team, the Kwankwaso campaign team said it yesterday that it's even an insult for anybody to even consider a Kwankwaso to be a running mate to anybody. So that was the main reason why he left the PDP in the first instance.
Okay,
and that was the same reason why Peter Obi too left PDP. So I don't see any one of them becoming one another's vice. So there's problem there.
But wait, let me say something here. You see, at the end of it all, I think the Southeasterners may be the loser in the whole thing. You know why I'm saying it? If you look at politics of Nigeria, the Southeast is unstable for some time, and we all know the reason of the instability. And it is expected that after a Buhari leaves office, anybody government that is coming on board, the leaders of the Southeast is going to approach them to negotiate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Now the question is, if the Southeasterners go for Obi and they eventually give their vote to Obi, and the Southwesterners go for a Tinubu,
Southwesterners.
Yes. The question is, if Obi did not win at the end of the day, how can you now, as a region, approach a government,
the central government, to
negotiate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu? Rather, you be begging like they are begging Buhari now. Another issue is, if PDP wins and they didn't work for Atiku because they voted for Obi, how will you not in turn go to Atiku to negotiate for release of Nnamdi Kanu? In the same vein, they will be begging Atiku rather than negotiating. The same reason they find it difficult to approach Buhari, because it is believed that they didn't work for Buhari. No wonder Buhari said that those that are given 5% vote will receive 5% attention. So what I'm trying to say is the Southeasterners need to look inward. What we are saying here may offend some people, but what I'm telling you is that after the result of the election, people will need to go and watch this interview again, because there are some truth that people do not want to hear.
Yes.
And the truth is that the Southeasterners should pause, ponder over it, and ask questions.
Okay,
what
advice.
Because
Which
now
party?
I'm coming. Don't forget that the 2023 election will determine the outcome of 2031. Tinubu was saying Emilokon. The reason he said Emilokon is because in 2015 he felt he had worked for 2023. In the same vein, what will become the fate of the Southeasterners, knowing fully well that they have not had opportunity of ruling Nigeria all this while? What will be their fate to get to that Asurok come 2031 if they didn't, if maybe Atiku emerge or what's it called, Tinubu emerge? Don't forget that this Atiku have said that his running mate is being prepared to take after him, meaning if he eventually wins, he's looking at Okowa becoming president after him.
2031.
I say that is his own
Not
projection. I'm not fronting any opinion. I say that is his own projection. If you read through his statement when Okowa was picked. So the question I'm asking, or the advice I'm giving, is the Southeasterners, after the election, they will need to go back and watch this interview.
Okay. You wanted to say?
Yeah. I want to add to what he said. I want to give an addendum, because it has gotten to a situation where every information now is sensitive, and the country is already divided along ethnic and religious line. We should not, you understand, underestimate that. There is an information, there is a document flying about, you understand now, and it is whatever information people want to share, they have a targeted audience that is particular to, you understand. Some arguments are like, now that the youth are rooting for Obi, you understand, the south Obi is a Southeasterner, the south, then the southeast, the southwest youth who are said to be the most informed, you understand, to be the most sophisticated, should go in line with the obedient arrangement, you understand. Now this information came, and this document came to confirm to us that in 1993, for the election of SDP and NRC, all the southeast states, none of them voted for Abiola. They voted for Uthman Tofa, and Abiola won. So the real people of Igbo extraction did not vote for Abiola in 1993. And the argument now that they are discussing among the unintelligent and uneducated ones amongst us, you understand, you cannot write it off, is the fact that we cannot even vote for an Igbo man, because Igbos did not vote for us in the past. So like I said, Obi has to cut across. Obi has to go outside the ambience of the southeast. Obi should not be regionally complacent, because if he is, like Mr. Matthew said, the Igbos will play themselves out of it. And the addendum, the justification here is why Atiku picked Okowa is that Atiku has a gentleman agreement, because this new electoral reform, I don't know whether you are aware, Atiku is not spending 8 years if Atiku wins, and that's why they are supporting him. He has been a vice president for 2 terms, and he can only do 4 years, and Atiku is already assuring the south people now that he's prepping Okowa to become president, you understand. Edward Westermark said he's no fool who can live what he cannot have to have what he cannot live, and that is what it may likely affect a Tinubu too, because an average northerner, an average Hausa man will prefer a president than a vice president. So they are full. So I think they are even fooling him to give him the impression that picking a Muslim, you understand, from the north is going to help his ambition, because if on the long run you see this Gale of Defections is affecting him, because eventually a northerner will always be a northerner, and on the day of the election they will not look Obi, and if they are not looking Tinubu, then everything is being prepped toward a return of power back to PDP. You understand? I don't see Obi winning that election. I don't see him pulling any stunt. You understand? In fact, he may not even have up to what a Kwankwaso will eventually have, because I know a Kwankwaso is more politically grounded. I'm saying more politically grounded now. I'm not saying a good administrator. I'm not saying a fluent speaker. I'm not saying somebody that has charisma. I'm saying politically grounded. You understand? Because he will have votes in Kano. Kano is where you have millions of votes. You understand? And another major problem is these PVCs that people are rushing to collect. They may not be able to. They may not be able to have it because INEC said you can only have it in January.
I have a report.
And
here.
January is a month to election.
A report here in Lugbe Federal Housing Estate in Abuja. Some Muslims came out to stop Christians from registering for their PVCs.
In Abuja.
Yes, Lugbe Federal Housing Estate. I think this is taking a religious.
I think if that is true, it's a recipe for crisis, and the authorities should move in to arrest
the authorities in what form?
The authorities, I mean the police, the army, and the
how do they identify? Because how do they identify that some persons are Christians?
If you take side, it's going to cause a problem that will envelop everybody. Because you see, we already have a situation where it is believed that the Christians are being killed and the government is looking the other way.
Yes.
So if, like, you can see some Christian
some
leaders,
pastors are calling.
you can see some Christian leaders already speaking that vote in defense of your faith. If you now see a situation where somebody is trying to scheme you out, it is going to cause a problem that will envelop everybody. That is why the authorities have to move in as quickly as possible, and that is why APC too have to be very careful in choosing their running mate. It must not be a Muslim running mate.
They are the ones that
because the reason you see the issue is whether somebody cannot ask me, be telling me, are you a APC member? That is not the issue. The issue is about the peace of the society, because the way it stands, if you eventually pick a Muslim running mate and you win, you are telling the Christians to start strategizing, and you are polarizing the country the more along religious line. So the earlier they get to know that,
current sentiment
the better.
On ground.
So what I'm saying in essence is, with respect to the allegation of disturbing some people from getting their PVC, I think the authorities should move in as quickly as possible to arrest the situation.
Okay, what's your take?
You know, it was initially it's ethnical, now it's becoming religious, and that is making it more multifaceted. What we hear before is that people of Igbo extractions are being restricted from participating in the exercise. Now that it has degenerated to religion, that Muslims are, you understand, I think it behoves on government to move in instantly and probably see how to manage the situation, because if it is not properly managed, if they allow it to spill over, it may end up even stalling the whole process. And if the whole because if peradventure 2 people were killed in Lugbe, or 5 in Amak and 10 in Lagos, you understand, you have a national opprobrium that will call for the stalling and stopping of the process. So I think, like we said, we have a government that is always disorganized, unprepared, and that is living on blackmail and propaganda. If not, all this will not be there will be no diversification of religious, ethnic, or all these sentiments that we are weighing now. But whether we like it or not, these sentiments are going to be the determining factor in who becomes what in 2023. Okay. And the pendulum is swinging towards either of the two sides, because the problem there is that for even thinking that they want a Muslim ticket, I think the APC has willfully eaten up the polity of the nation. Because even if I'm not going to vote for APC, I see it as abysmal, you understand, in a country where I reside. So I will now say, in the whole of North with 19 states, you don't even have a competent Christian there. If you must go to North as to form alliances and permutations to win election. So by and large, all the political parties, my joy is just that we have about 8 months to election. So events will be unfolding, and the only thing is that the closure of this new electoral reform has made it impossible for jumpology. So the only thing you can do is to collapse a structure. So even if Kwankwaso and Obi agrees now, none of them can be vice to one another. One can only support the other, you understand, because you cannot pick a person outside your political party, and already that window has closed.
I thought Okupe was formerly PDP.
And if Okupe
now he's not known to have contested.
He's not known to have contested in this process now, in this primary.
Okay.
And that's why he was picked.
Address one issue, because even in bystanders program, some persons have often asked whether I'm an Igbo man.
No, let's not talk about the Igbo man.
No, I'm not diving into it.
The question I want to ask now is, would an average Nigerian man choose his ethnicity over religion?
Okay, it's neither here nor there.
In this contest,
it's neither here nor there.
Would you choose your ethnicity over religion?
Personally, I would choose religion. You know why? It's paramount, because that has to do with eternity. If it's not well managed here, somebody may end a hellfire. Don't forget that the Bible says we are here. We are not of this world. So to that extent, anything that will protect my faith, I will make me hold on to that faith to the last day, is better for me.
Okay, he's Okowa's brother, so that's why I didn't want him to.
From my part too, is either here nor there, but predominantly I will choose religion, because I'm supposed ordinarily now, sentimentally, as a Yoruba man, I'm supposed to be a Baptist, but I can never be a Baptist because of the Muslim arrangement. So I would prefer, if there is something we have to disabuse in our youth, we are ready to waste our vote. I hate that word. You know, some people that are obedient, all these your obedient people, when they argue on social media and when they throw banter, they will always say, they are ready to waste their vote. You understand? Instead of wasting my vote, I will give, you understand, a Muslim Christian ticket, because I would not want to waste my vote by voting an Obi who will not win. So eventually I will choose religion over my ethnicity, because it is more encompassing and it is more globally acceptable. Who ethnic help, who Yoruba man help.
With this, I've uncovered the parties that.
No, you have
not. We have not uncovered anything.
He's going to be voting for Atiku, because he said that he's going.
You have not uncovered.
The only popular party that has a Muslim Christian ticket is PDP. So that's why he's going to.
No, you asked me a question. You
said
I'm just making an analogy. You asked me a question.
You are defending him.
No,
I'm not defending him.
You are putting words into our mouth.
From what you have said.
You are putting words into our. You are trying to infer that you said whether ethnics or religion, and I said religion. So I just make an analogy.
That means in any way you are going to vote for.
Don't forget that even the Labour Party you are talking of, is here to settle on the issue of the running.
Yes, because now currently they have a
even the APC is here to settle the issue of the running.
You know, Labour now has
INEC has given an explanation on that.
Explanation of INEC does not bar each of them from substituting.
Yeah.
What the law says,
except somebody said I don't want to step down. You don't have to.
The running mates, the way it stands, like Masari and Adeyo Kupe, decides to voluntarily write their party with an affidavit that they are no longer interested, the party will in turn write INEC that this man is no longer interested, permit me to substitute him. So I think that is the arrangement of the issue from the two political parties. So you inferring from what somebody is saying, I think you are speaking from the wrong party.
Yes, now because even the Obi ticket currently is a Christian ticket, and if I can be against a Muslim ticket, I'm equally against a Christian ticket, because I'm rational. I'm a human being. I want everything to be as it should be.
So as it stands now, you are in PDP now.
Yes, it's not about being
ideology. Now, okay, are we voting today? Is there election today? We are talking about ideological.
We are looking at a situation where we have got a national tragedy, a national crisis, because it's a recipe for crisis. Whether you like it or not, religion is very sensitive.
Yes, now,
and we know how Nigeria is being fragile. Nigeria is not ripe for Muslim or Christian tickets. Let us be fair. So what we are saying in essence is, if whether I'm in APC or not in APC, I want APC to have a Muslim Christian.
Yes.
Whether I'm in PDP or not in PDP, I want PDP to have a Muslim Christian.
Even
whether
Labour.
I'm in Labour Party or not, I want Labour Party to have a Muslim Christian. That is the only way we can have a peaceful coexistence.
Yes.
That's what we are saying here. you are not saying it for you to start extrapolating and putting reference.
People are using big grammar here.
Start doing reference.
Putting words into our mouth.
Somebody is supporting.
Okay, said you want to talk about it. Some people are saying that.
No, what I'm saying is, let me briefly say that I am from Delta State.
Okowa's brother.
Igbo speaking part of Delta State.
So
by implication, if somebody say I'm an Igbo man, the person is not wrong. But I'm more of, because the Bible say we are here, we are not of this world. So I'm a servant of the living God. So I do not attach so much sentiment to you are from South, you are an Igbo man, you are an Hausa man, you are a Yoruba man. I prefer justice, equity, and fairness.
I love that.
And on that basis, I've been a proponent that the Southeast have not gotten opportunity to rule. That if you are looking at based on justification, that the Southeast is more justified to rule Nigeria come 2023. But unfortunately, there are the dynamics have not favored the Southeast currently, and that the Southeast need to look inward, even at the stage we are, in order not to lose her totally. So it's not a question of somebody trying to vilify you or trying to give you a name. People should read in between the line and understand the trajectory of your thoughts.
Is it now appropriate for you to, or can you say it to his face? Because when he was not here, when I was defending Okowa, that Okowa is an Igbo, is a Delta Igbo, you said there are no Igbos in Delta. That they are.
Did you say so?
You said that on here.
I said.
He said that on here. So
I asked him a question. Let me ask that question.
Please do.
Is Okowa a Southeasterner?
Okowa by nature is a Southeasterner. The reason is not far-fetched.
Where is it?
I said the reason. You listen for me. You listen to me first.
Because you have played politics.
You listen to me first.
That's the question I asked you.
You listen to me first.
If he's an Igbo man in South Africa, he's not a Southeasterner.
He will answer you appropriately.
Okay.
He will give you the answer.
Now, if you look at South, okay, is a political creation.
Yes, now.
Language is by providence. Look at Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. Without prejudice to Hausa and Yoruba, the Okowa, where Okowa comes from, which is a part of the country I hail from, is Igbo by nature.
It's naturally
by language.
Igbo. By language.
Not by human creation. By
but
providence.
By human creation.
So what we are saying, no, let me go further. Let me move further.
You said so that it is the turn of the Southeast.
No,
it is the turn of the Southeast.
That is where
I'm going. That's where I stood on and I said
that is where I'm going.
Okowa is not a Southeasterner.
I said that is where I'm going. Now, I did say that Southeast have not had the opportunity of producing the president for some time now.
Which excludes Okowa.
Now, if you look at Northeast, they have that same problem. Now, the difference between Southeast and Northeast is that Southeast is a tribe. Northeast
an entire tribe
is not a tribe per se, but a region, a politically created region. Now, if you are looking at Okowa is not a Southeasterner, I agree with you.
Yeah,
but the reason, and
I understand what you're saying.
I want to bring out something. The reason Article 0 on Okowa is because the Southeasterners vehemently refuse to be running mate to any of the candidates.
Yes.
And they have looked at it that if they virtually force it on any of them, chances are that the people from the Southeast will even lynch the person. So I think that's why I'm saying that the Southeast should look inward, because how you play 2023 will determine 2031. Because you may be crying that you have not got the opportunity to rule Nigeria since the inception of this national democracy. What happens if you now lose you after 2031? So that's why I'm saying that even the way it stands, I think the Southeasterners, my brothers, should look inward and be articulated on how. By saying articulated, I'm not talking Atiku Abubakar.
Okay.
I'm only using word articulated
always
on how they play this 2023. Because for me, it will be my joy that a Southeasterner rules Nigeria. Yeah. That under the current scenario, it is
practically
very difficult. And that is the truth most people do not want to hear.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. You've come to the end of the program. Pundits on Flip TV. However, I want us to understand that we want a Nigeria that is prosperous, that there's equity, there's justice and fairness. And in all fairness, we know and we want you to go and get your PVCs. I may want to end with this. The rush for PVCs, somehow it's seen that it's being frustrated. The next 2 months, lastly, the next 2 months now that they are giving, will the INEC, what he has not done, would INEC meet up?
I don't see INEC meeting up because already the logistics they have are not enough, and the search is becoming so volatile that, you know, we have this there's the Nigerian factor that despite the 2 months, some people will still not meet up with the 2 months. But
when the challenge, 2 weeks to
yes,
go.
but the challenges before INEC is not even only the search, how to curb the search, is how to ensure that these people that participated in this process were able to vote come 2023. Because if INEC is telling us that whoever registers now, we have to wait till January, and election is supposed to be February, constitutionally I think all process that affect electioneering has to be altered 3 months before election. So it will be difficult for all these millions of people that are rushing now to vote, because if they cannot collect their PVCs, they cannot vote with the small paper. So I think the challenge before INEC now is to how to automate or how to fast track the process of giving people the permanent voters card, not the paper itself, and how to provide the necessary logistics to forestall this pocket of violence that is popping up here and there, whether religiously or ethnically.
Okay, Mr. Matthew, over to you.
Okay, you see, I think INEC have to wake up to their responsibility. We are in modern world, we are in digital world where you don't need much time to do all these things. So what I'm saying is, personally, I had an ugly experience where I went through the process online on their portal. I was scheduled to have a physical meeting with them at their office. Only for me to get there, they turned me down. They turned me back rather, with a flimsy excuse that they have more people, or they already have much in their hands. So what I'm trying to say is, INEC must double in their action, because whether we like it or not, you have no right to disenfranchise Nigerians. 2 months,
which they have been doing.
2 months. No, you cannot accuse them now, because some Nigerians were unwilling to undergo the process until now. But now that they have showed interest, because we have been seeing serious
voter apathy. Have not received their voter card since 2011.
Yes,
they are registered.
And that's what I'm saying.
So they were disenfranchised from voting in 2015 and 2019.
I think they would have gone to court to argue that. They have been doing it. They would have gone to court to argue that. But I'm trying to say is, now that more youths, more Nigerians are showing interest to participate in the process, it behoves on INEC to step up their action to ensure that they capture.
That's the question I want to ask as we close.
You cannot accuse them. Hence, they are see.
It's not about trusting them now. They are in charge of it, and you just have to abide with their ways of doing it. So it's not a question of trust.
And that's why we encourage anybody that see any wrongdoing, high-handedness on their part.
Report it.
We are in digital era. Get a video of it, make it public, name and shame them. If the government is not even acting, let the whole world see it.
Okay. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of the program, Pundits of Film TV. I have my wonderful guest, Mr. Matthew Bienosi and Honorable Comrade Ido Israel. Bye for now. See you tomorrow for another edition of the program, Pundits of Film TV. I'm Christian Chuku.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching.
All right.